Now, I decided to write and submit my very own fat studies paper for presentation, and with the help of my brilliant researcher, I wrote an entire essay titled Embracing Fatness as Self-Care in the Era of Trump. I then submitted the abstract to the conference, and oh, did I say that I wrote the essay? I meant to say it was submitted by C. Matheson. A wonderful and totally academically legitimate genderqueer fat pride activist.
All right, turn me into C. Matheson.
Ready?
Oops. Hello, I am C. Matheson. I am an activist based out of Austin, Texas, specifically working with the non-binary and fat community. Trump's fat phobia even reaches into the United States international relations. In his dealing with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, Trump referred to the leader as, quote, short and fat. But by engaging in further degradation of fatness, noting that President Trump was, quote, definitionally obese and, quote, could share clothes with Jabba the Hutt. When it comes to Trump's fat phobia, often the current progressive left, they resort to fight.
Of course, this was all pure lunacy, and I was certain that the jig was up and that it would be curtains for C. Matheson in the world of academia. So imagine my surprise when this absolute joke was not only accepted to a prestigious academic conference, but C. Matheson was met with rave reviews. Dr. Esther Rothblum, PhD, even reached out to C. Matheson after the conference to peer review a paper on, you guessed it, fat studies. Look, Ma, I'm an authoritative source.
Jesus Christ.
Well. Steven Crowder has probably just completed one of the most hilarious infiltrations ever. Now, he's done maybe some more impactful infiltrations in the past, whether it was getting involved in these super soldiers and things of that nature. But on the surface, this is obviously a hilarious meme, and everything about it is ridiculously funny. But when you peel it away, it's actually an important issue. I believe very strongly, as obviously someone who is overweight, and it's an important thing to me to get back in shape this year, at least a different shape than a blob. Perhaps a square would be fine. But, it's an important issue that, when people are being kind of lied to about, being 100 pounds overweight is healthy, or something that, it's a fine line where, like, yeah, I get not shaming somebody. There's a difference between that and then a difference between, like, living in a delusional world where, I know I have very real health issues that, like, if I don't make a stark change now, I won't make it past 65. And I've probably already cut 10 or 15 years off my life by being unhealthy and other bad habits that I had when I was younger and things of that nature. So I think it's actually damaging to continue to kind of press forward this delusion that being obese is something that's totally cool and hip. You ask anybody who's actually overweight, and they'll tell you they know. They know it's not healthy. But yet Cosmopolitan magazine and all these left-leaning media sources are pushing out this, insanity that it's something that to be proud of. It's not. It's absolutely not. It's something to carry with you literally and understand that it is shortening your life. And it's an issue that's near and dear to me, obviously, because I'm getting up there now. I'll be 39 in 2 weeks or 3 weeks here. And I'd rather not, die in my 40s. And, so this is an important issue, but we're going to have a lot of fun, of course, at their expense. I make no mistake about it. And all that and more after important video sponsor, Sheath. Huge shout out to this video sponsor. That's right, Sheath. These boxers are designed to keep your balls off your legs. Sheath has 3 individual compartments to keep everything down there separate and cool and comfortable. And hey, since they've been a long-time sponsor, I've heard from many of you who have tried out Sheath and really love it. They were invented by a U.S. Army soldier who came up with the idea for Sheath during his second tour in Iraq, where it was hot as heck and his boys needed to breathe. And on top of all sorts of awesome designs for Sheath, they've added all sorts of winter items, hoodies, gator necks, and all sorts of base layers. Head on over to the link in the description and pinned comment down below. Use my promo code to save and support the channel and keep everything nice, cool, and dry. Hey, I know it's a weird thing to think about changing what you've been doing forever and ever, but give them a try. I have a feeling you're really gonna like them, and it supports the channel. So yesterday, Steven Crowder put out a hilarious video. Undercover, Crowder infiltrates, quote, Fat Studies Conference. And this is only being covered, by two media outlets, basically The Blaze, which I don't know if he's exactly still affiliated with. I'm confused. I think he works with The Blaze, right? Or he did. I'm confused about that. But essentially The Blaze and Steven Crowder's own website. Nobody else is covering this. I wonder why. Because what it does do is it exposes damaging narratives that are being put forth by a certain group of people. This article from the Blaze News reads, outrageous undercover operation infiltrates Fat Studies Conference. Higher education is a farce. We want to think of academia as the key to the world of knowledge, with key masters being the best among us. Unfortunately, what we know as the world of higher education has become a farce. Steven Crowder reveals the riveting academic world of the academic discipline known as Fat Studies. Home to peer-reviewed think pieces such as Overcoming Fear of Fat and Queering Fat Embodiment. Yes, this is being taught by professors at some of the world's most prestigious institutions. There's an annual Fat Studies conference at Massey University, ironic name, where the brave and beautiful postgrads can submit their essays and present them in their safe space. Look, I don't want to shame anybody for being overweight. I even understand, convincing yourself that, oh, I have a glandular problem or whatever the case is. Yes, some people do, but it's oh, I don't know. I'm big, but I don't eat that unhealthy. Well, yeah, you're big probably for the same reason I am. I don't eat particularly unhealthy, but I sit on my rear end for 10 hours a day. That's why I'm big, and I enjoy the sauce. That's why I'm big. It's not because I eat McDonald's every day. I don't, but I understand the very basics of it. In this video, you'll hear from Fat Studies scholars who teach students about all the ways fat women are oppressed by small white men, the ways science has oppressed fat women, and a call for new fat ethics. Crowder went undercover as C. Matheson, a fat pride activist, who submitted, quote, her very own Fat Studies paper for a presentation titled Embracing Fatness as Self-Care in the Era of Trump. By the way, chef's kiss title. It hits all the hallmarks. You appeal to these lunatic professors, TDS, and obviously, if self-care, and it's just perfect. Due to the coup, the in-person conference was canceled, but luckily there was still a virtual conference. Crowder's abstract was even accepted by the chairwoman, Kat Paws, a self-described Fat Studies scholar who has scheduled Matheson, the fake person that was basically literally Steven Crowder in a fat suit, to speak alongside other intellectual titans. To see another reason not to send your kids to university, I mean, when we look at the video, it's hilarious. Look at that, a cough button if you're watching. I finally start using that. Now, Crowder goes undercover to present to a real conference of Fat Studies. Now, I'm not going to show you his whole video here. You should watch his video because he should get the credit for the amazing work.
Academia. We'd like.
He should get the credit for the amazing work he did. The video is at 718,000 views, 64,000 upvotes. And he became literally a fat expert in 24 hours. Funny, but scary. There is a point in this video, okay, he's talking, I mean, all these are overweight women, by the way. You don't see a lot of fat men coming out there and saying that it's bold and beautiful to be fat. Men understand. Men are not delusional about being overweight. These are all women. Now, I'm not saying women are delusional, but I'm just saying I wonder why you don't see any men who are 200 pounds overweight speaking at these conferences, right? So we get essentially Steven Crowder getting his makeup done. Looks like Quarter Black's helping him. And there he is in all his glory. And the piece that he put together was absolutely hilarious. This is the Steven Crowder as C. Matheson, which is hilarious that she's named C, of Fat Studies. And what I thought was great is him going through basically, you have to watch it, you know. But you see in the video, Thursday night, Donald Trump had first one, the president of the United States, who is definitionally obese, mocked what he thought was a protester for being overweight. That guy's got a serious weight problem. The leader of the free world told the crowd, "Go home," instructed the man, "Start exercising." Yeah, Trump, wasn't exactly in the best shape, but, I'm going to show you a little bit. It's just too good.
Body as an act. Sorry about that. It's going really well here. My own body as an act of self-care, affirming it. I will present that as an act of self-care. Many who do so may not even realize it. Take this quotation from the New York Times about self-care. Let me read this for a moment. Or let's say that your health has dipped. In that case, self-care for you might focus on building a workout routine. Now here we see the linking.
What the important thing is here, this is an act, like Steven Crowder has now been peer reviewed as a fake character who's overweight with TDS, spouting just nonsense. Okay. Obviously Steven Crowder is not a doctor. And he actually got invited to speak. He literally got an email to C. Matheson. "You have been invited to review a manuscript for Fat Studies, an interdisciplinary journal of body weight and society." They made the guy an expert immediately. This is the problem with embracing literal mental delusions, okay? This woman is morbidly obese. Don't tell her that she's healthy. Academia, we'd like to think of it as a key to the world of knowledge, according to StevenCrowder.com, written by Team Crowder. With the key masters among us being the best among us. Unfortunately, we know the world of higher education has become a bit of a farce. Enter the riveting academic world of Fat Studies. Bursting at the seams with self-love, acceptance, and, well, just bursting at the seams, it turns out that there's an entire academic discipline known as Fat Studies, home to peer-reviewed think pieces such as Overcoming Fear of Fat, and so on and so forth. Okay, now I can tell he definitely works with the Blaze. Okay, so Crowder decided to write and submit his very own Fat Studies paper for presentation, and with the help of his brilliant researcher, Crowder wrote an entire essay titled "Embracing Fatness as Self-Care in the Era of Trump," submitted the abstract to the conference. Actually, it was submitted by, quote, C. Matheson, a wonderful and totally academic, legitimate, genderqueer, fat pride activist. Now, unfortunately, due to the coof, the in-person conference was canceled. Luckily for Miss Matheson, there was still a virtual conference, and the good thing for C. Matheson, because Zur abstract was actually accepted by the chairwoman, Dr. Kat Pauzet, a self-described Fat Studies scholar, and just like that, C was scheduled to speak alongside those intellectual titans. This is modern-day academia. And Crowder, I think, does a great job at the end of his video, which, again, you should watch. I don't want to rob him of the views. Talking about just how, literally damaging this can be. Kudos to Steven Crowder and the team over at Loud Earth Crowder with this. And this is him at his best when he does stuff like this. So I know it takes a ton more work, but I'm hopeful that he keeps it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Congratulations, C. Matheson. We'll talk to you again real soon.